climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls.
Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David. Today we've got two clips for you. One of Laurel Collins, the NDP representative from Victoria, where she absolutely has a meltdown. She's gone off her rocker, really. The second clip is of Edmonton bringing in the 15-minute cities. I don't think this is going to end well. Posted by Ryan Garrettson.
I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And
what?
I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the two children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And I hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
I'm sorry, what? So gender has nothing to do with the climate crisis? You can see here, Ryan Garrettson posted, the climate now decides which gender deserves more fire and brimstone. Yeah, she's lost her marbles here. You know what the problem with the climate crisis and climate hysteria is? I've been very center of the line for a lot of my political beliefs for a long time. If you guys watch this channel for a while, you know I'm a hiker and backpacker. I love nature. I love being outdoors. That is my favorite place to be. I don't like being in cities. I want to be deep in the middle of Timbuk nowhere. So there's a special place in my heart for the environment and keeping the world safe. For that reason, I was duped in the past by speeches like this, where it's like, oh, climate change, oh, the world's burning down. It's like, oh, actually, the forest fires are started by people. It's not actually zillions of lightning strikes happening because the climate's changing. You have Jordan Peterson's argument, well, what scale are we measuring climate change? Is the last 50 years, the last 100, last 2,000, last 10,000? Because it really changes when you start looking at the data based on the timeline. We know the planet's poles move around or flip. I'm not a geologist, but what I do know is there's a frozen jungle up in North Antarctica. There's literally a jungle under the ice. So the planet keeps changing. That's what we do know. They take core samples, they find all this stuff. So the real problem is if there's a huge climate crisis, the liberals have used it. They've weaponized it to instill fear to get what they want. To get power, to suck us all dry of money. That is what's happened. So if there truly is a climate crisis, you can blame the liberals for breaking Canadians' trust and using our emotions against us. This is all hysteria garbage, and she's not fit for the job. If you don't have the strength to deal with what's going on, like it's time to hang up the boots. Did Laurel go to the Justin Trudeau School of Bad Acting? I think she truly believes what she said there. I think she's just nutty. She's had a little too much of the Kool-Aid to drink, and speaking of what flavor Kool-Aid do the NDP drink? Professional victim. Next up, we got a clip here from CTV Edmonton. They are pushing these 15-minute cities. They basically don't want people to be using their car for more than 50% of the time. They want people using transit. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to be using transit in Edmonton in winter. No thanks.
The administration is presenting its vision to accommodate a population of 2 million people through 15-minute cities. 3 days of public hearings on the plan began at City Hall this morning. Shailen Skulski has more.
I'm here to express my concerns.
Shelley Motorshead is one of more than 70 speakers scheduled to be heard at City Hall. Over 3 days, councillors will hear from residents and representatives from the construction industry, childcare, community leagues, and students on administration's plan to deal with a growing population.
We are building a cohesive city with opportunities for local living.
Population is rapidly growing, and we have to be able to accommodate for that. Right now, the plans we have are kind of Frankenstein together over decades.
The 15 new district plans and corresponding bylaws will replace 54 existing planning documents dating back to the 1980s.
Our city is growing, and the more we can accommodate within existing infrastructure and existing neighborhoods, better it is for the taxpayers as well.
Administration says the goal is to accommodate 600,000 new residents in redeveloped areas, with 50% of all new home units added through infill. The plan also calls for half of all future travel to be done by transit, and for residents to access all their daily needs within 15 minutes. Not everyone supports the plan.
My understanding is that this means I will need to stay within my district to meet all my needs so that the city can meet its climate plan objectives.
I don't think Edmontonians can afford to be part of a renovation experiment of this size so quickly.
I think unfortunately a lot of the district plan in particular have been derailed by 15-minute cities, conspiracy theories, World Economic Forums, etc. At the end of the day, this is about land use.
Others were concerned about possible impacts on the River Valley, affordable housing, and called for stricter rules for developers. Approved policies will be reviewed this summer and could come into effect by fall.
What is going on in Edmonton? I mean, look at the geography. It's 10 times harder to build houses out here in Vancouver Island, where I'm at, or around Vancouver, etc. Mountainous, trees. I grew up in Alberta. Just go out to one of the fields and start building. Like, it's not rocket science, man. Why don't they just build a bigger city? Why does everyone have to live in a tiny box? They said, was it 50% infill? They basically want to have a whole bunch of laneway houses, or they want to start converting bigger houses into like fourplexes. They want people to have less and less and less, and then take the bus in the winter. What a disgrace. Pathetic city planning. One of the real problems with the 15-minute cities in Edmonton here is the people didn't ask for it. They weren't consulted on it. This is such a bad idea. Maybe do this in an area, like do some polls and find an area, a city where people want that. Then try that out. There just seem to be forcing this on the people of Edmonton. Like, why would you try this in the Texas of Canada? Why would the most conservative state? Why would they try that in Alberta, in Edmonton? Why not try that in Victoria or some other place like that? Especially with 15-minute cities, they want people to be using the bus and public transit and stuff for half of the time. That'd be much more doable, say, in a city like Victoria, where the weather is just better year round. You're not getting minus 40, people waiting out at bus stops. This was not well thought out. You got these woke people in government there, and the mayor and all that, like, just pushing this garbage. It really should have been tested somewhere else. The people should have been polled and asked. This is not a good idea. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about both those stories. Laurel Collins has lost her mind. It's time for her to step down. And the 15-minute cities, yeah, it can take a hike. This is another WF agenda just being forced on Canadians. They're trying, but they're going to fail. So thanks for watching the end of the video here. Be sure to subscribe here on my second channel. Be sure to ring the notification bell to get notified of all my second channel videos here. I'll keep bringing you guys the truth. We'll keep fighting for freedom. I'll see you guys in the next one.